Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, October 22nd, and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. It's great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. David Hajar, Norwood selectman, passed away suddenly on Saturday following a medical emergency. David worked tirelessly to make his hometown, the town of Norwood, a better place. He proudly served on the Personnel Board for 13 years, including 7 years as chairman, and also served on the Finance Commission. David also served on the first chair of Impact Norwood, a group working towards a drug-free community through awareness and education. In 2019, he was elected to the Board of Selectmen and spent countless hours on key projects and discussions that moved the town forward. Town Manager Tony Mazzucco shared this message in memory of the devoted selectman.
We're saddened to hear that David Hajar had passed away. It was quite a shock to all of us when we got news that he had passed so unexpectedly. David was a tireless worker for the town. One of the things I always let people know was how much elected officials like David really gave of their time and how much their families shared them with the town. The week prior to David's passing, I had been with him either on the phone or in a meeting every single day. We had met Tuesday, we had had a meeting Wednesday at Rotary, we had a meeting Thursday, and we spent about an hour on the phone on Thursday. So I talked to David every day. I'm going to certainly miss him. We know his family and friends are going to miss him. And he gave so much of his time and his talent to this community that we forget about how much time they actually give to us. And we're grateful to Elaine and to his kids and grandkids for sharing him with us for so much time. He was dedicated to the town of Norwood. He was smart. He was hardworking. He always said yes to when there was a job to be done or a committee to be staffed, and he never gave up, and he always gave as much time as he could to the town. We're going to miss him. We're going to miss him here at Town Hall, and I know I'm going to miss him personally.
David was also an active member of the community, previously coaching youth sports teams and making several appearances on public access programs like Inside Norwood with Tom Cummings.
David was a unique person, and I'm going to go out on a limb now, and if people hear it, they hear it. Best selectman I've dealt with in my 60 or so years in this town, okay? He was right there, he had great ideas, and you know, when a rookie comes in, and he was a rookie, he did some things in the personnel board and other things, but he was a rookie, and he, you know, he come in and try to do things right away. There was people that did not like that, and that's unfortunate. You know, Michael, we just, in my opinion, we lose the leader, the next leader that would have been if he was still with us. And he was just such a great guy. And you know, he helped me so much. You know, I'll give you an example. He'd come down to my house, my printer wasn't working, he'd fix my printer, he'd fix my iPhone, do anything I asked, and come right over and chat with me. And he comes from a great family, and we lost something. We really did. I mean, he was a superstar, really, you know. So that's where we are.
Our most sincere condolences are with the Hajar family. David is survived by his wife Elaine and 4 children, Janine, Nicholas, Matt, and Abraham. We'll be right back.
I'm a dad and a pastor.
I'm a mom and a principal.
I am a daughter,
wife, and machu.
Great-grandfather.
I'm a rock climber.
A husband, a father, and a grandfather.
I'm a mother, a daughter, a wife, and a cousin.
I got vaccinated for my parents.
Because I want to be a good neighbor.
For safety and for the people I love.
For my family, for my community, and for our community at large.
કારણ કે મારી ઈચ્છા હતી કે મારા બાળક બીજા બાળક સાથે રમી શકે.
I got vaccinated so I didn't have to wear a mask.
For my family and for my community, your community.
We all come from different backgrounds
and speak different languages.
But we all agree on one thing.
Get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated.
Getting vaccinated.
get vaccinated.
Vaccination cardio.
To protect yourself and others, get vaccinated. To find out more information and to find a clinic, go to mass.gov/COVID vaccine.
Welcome back. Monday night, Norwood's elected officials and town meeting members gathered for the fall special town meeting. There were 6 articles discussed that covered a number of topics, including Moderna's TIF and the town's capital plan. Tony Mazzucco recaps the evening.
We had another exciting town meeting with a couple of key items that were passed from behalf of the town. One of the items was a TIF, or tax increment financing district, for Moderna. Moderna is continuing to expand in Norwood. With this TIF agreement, they're going to be investing $400 million up on their site and creating or relocating 375 jobs here. We're very happy that it passed, and it passed unanimously. The other big item on the warrant was the capital plan. almost $20 million in capital spending, including a lot of really critical projects for the town. We're continuing our road bond project, which means next year we'll be able to do about $4 million worth of road paving throughout town. We saw a lot this last year, and we're looking forward to having another great year of road paving. Town meeting approved the second year of a 10-year plan to continue lining our water pipes. Cost of about $5 million for the second year of water lining, but we're happy to continue that project. There were a number of other capital projects, mainly replacing vehicles, repairs to facilities. We're really not adding anything to our capital plan, but town meeting approved a wide variety of projects across all departments. Perhaps most exciting out of all of them is that we do have to redo the turf and track field at the high school, but we'll also be adding lights to the high school, which most folks know Norwood High had lights up until the new building was put in, and we haven't had lights there the last 10 years or so. So we're looking forward to being able to have lights at the field in the next year for games. There were a couple of other minor administrative items, as well as a small zoning change to the Big Y Plaza on the end of town. So all in all, town meeting was in one night. There was a lot of prep work. I want to thank all the town meeting members, all the town staff, and the elected officials who made it a great town meeting. And we'll see you again probably in the early spring for another town meeting.
To watch the full town meeting, watch NCM's government channel or search for it on our video on demand. There was also some big news at the beginning of the town meeting. After an 18-year tenure as town moderator, David Hearn announced that he will not be running for re-election.
Being moderator has given me an opportunity to really be involved in some of the stuff and some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and to, maybe be more connected to some of the issues that we're dealing with. Although I've always been very careful to be neutral, and certainly publicly neutral. I've got opinions, but I really can't voice them on a lot of things. But there were times when I was very busy, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed being part of the discussion. In terms of what are we going to do. Always what I was hoping to do and trying to do was to make sure that things went smoothly. Not smoothly that, oh, okay, this thing's going to pass by an overwhelming margin, but smoothly in a way that the people who were involved in the matter, whether they were the proponents or opponents, the people at home watching and the people in the hall for town meeting, that people understood what was going on. They understood what was being discussed, and in the end felt that everybody had a fair chance to present their point of view. They may not have gotten what they wanted, but they had a fair chance. And I, I've enjoyed being part of that, and at least trying to do that. Some nights people may think you didn't succeed, but I've always tried on that. So I guess I'll miss that part of it. Sometimes I try to explain to people what it is we're doing or what I think the issue is and what I think might be an approach to it. And sometimes it's kind of like being a teacher, but it's time for a different role. And I expect that role will be as hopefully an elected representative of town meeting. I'll probably have a little more opportunity to voice my opinions there than I could as moderator. I did try to stay neutral when we were debating things on the floor, when the town meeting members were debating things. I was never debating. I wouldn't. But it's been fun. I've really enjoyed the job, and it's been a wonderful opportunity, and for me, and I hope that I serve the town and the town meeting members. I certainly tried to the best of my ability. So I'll make a pitch for people to come on out. Get involved if you can. And some of the things that you get involved in take a long time, and some of them don't take that much time. But there are many different ways for people to contribute. We're always looking for people to volunteer for committees, run for office, run for town meeting. That's the type of thing. I just want to encourage people to do it. It can be a lot of fun. It can be a lot of work. But there's a great reward, too, because you're participating in the town's business and helping to get things done and helping to shape how you think the town should go about doing things. The town belongs to all of us. I think I said to some people, they said, why are you doing this? I said, look, this job doesn't belong to me as moderator. I'm holding it, but it belongs to the town.
Thank you, David, for your service to the town. In April, Norwood will select a new moderator at the annual town elections. Now we're going to toss it over to Miles Kidd with the latest in school news.
Hi guys, I'm Miles Kidd, and let's take a look at some activities happening in our Norwood schools this week. Unified Sports was founded in 2008 and is an integral part of the Special Olympics Unified Champion Schools. Last year, Norwood became a Unified Champion School District, and the school department and Special Olympics decided to kick off the start of the new school year with an opening ceremony and inclusive torch walk to demonstrate that Norwood is now a Unified Champion School District. With the help of the fire and police department, the torch was carried from school to school. Here's Patty Doherty, Vice President of Schools and Community Partnerships with the Special Olympics Massachusetts.
I'm so excited to be here at Norwood. This is Coakley Middle School right now. We've been to all of the elementary schools and the high school already today, and we are here today to really kick off what we know as Unified Champion Schools. Unified Champion Schools is a program which intentionally promotes social inclusion, and it brings together students with and without intellectual disabilities. Now there's 3 core components to our Unified Champion Schools strategy. It's Unified Sports, where people with and without intellectual disabilities play together on the same playing field with that camaraderie, friendship, team building, etc. And then another component is Inclusive Youth Leadership, where everybody has a voice. Everybody gets to come together and lead and be a part of their school community. And then our third component is Whole School Engagement. And this is truly whole school engagement right now at its finest. What we've been doing in each of these schools today is we've been going around and having a kickoff to our Unified Champion Schools strategy. And I actually have to share that I am so in awe of Norwood. Last year during the pandemic, when nothing was normal and there was so much going on, Norwood chose to include. Norwood became a Unified Champion School District in probably one of the toughest years ever as it relates to education. And you all did it, and just with gusto, and just as big of an explosion, and really just including everybody and doing each of those 3 components last year. And so we just really honor you. And so this is a way of just showing that we really support what you are doing, and we just couldn't be any more proud to be a part of these kickoffs at each of these schools. And I think it's just been absolutely terrific. I do want to do a shout out to Norwood High School, who just started unified basketball for the first time. They've already played a couple of games, and when we were at the high school, they had nothing but just rave reviews on how it's already turned their school into a more socially inclusive school. So thank you for letting us be a part of this today.
At the Balch School, students are celebrating STEM Week in the library with Mrs. Duffy. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. 5th graders are focusing on engineering to build with interactive materials, including Lincoln Logs, marble runs, dominoes, magnetic gears, and Legos, working in cooperative groups. 3rd graders are applying coding concepts with Ozobots. Using a variety of color codes, students directed the Ozobots around a grid. 1st graders are learning how a B-bot needs an algorithm to move from one point to a chosen destination. Also at the Balch, 3rd graders have been learning about the scientific method while learning about bridges. First, the students learned how different types of bridges are built. Next, they worked together with partners to plan out how to design their own bridge. After that, they built the bridges and tested their strength by seeing how many pennies they could hold before they collapsed. Finally, they made improvements to their prototype designs and tested the bridge again to see if they were stronger. A lot of fun was had while they learned about this process. This week, at the Willett School, Mrs. Doherty and Miss Glazier's class also participated in STEM Week with a Pumpkin Tower Challenge. The students were given toothpicks and candy pumpkins. They were asked to see how high they could build their pumpkin tower using these materials. Mrs. Doherty reminds her students that they are challenging themselves, not each other. It is not a competition, and there are no winners or losers. Also, they're reminded to not get frustrated if something doesn't work or their tower collapses. They should just try again using a different plan. Mrs. Doherty and Miss Glazier measure their students' towers once they're done. When everyone is finished, the students were given a paper to write down the number of inches their tower was and draw a picture of their pumpkin tower. The students are amazing at coming up with creative ideas for challenges. It's wonderful to see the collaboration and encouragement between the students. At Little Mustangs, October means pumpkins. Teachers use the pumpkin theme to support all areas of the preschool curriculum, from science to mathematics to art to language and literacy and social and emotional learning. Children learn about how pumpkins grow and what is inside a pumpkin, and they reach inside the real pumpkins to find seeds. Pumpkin seeds are used for counting and sorting activities. Children paint pumpkins, stamp with pumpkins, play with pumpkin spice, Play-Doh, and create art that will tell us the story of 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate. On the touch view screen, students can build a jack-o'-lantern. Jack-o'-lanterns can also be used for matching games that help students identify different emotions. Finally, most classrooms hear the story, The Legend of Spooky the Square Pumpkin, about a square pumpkin in a world of round pumpkins who learns and teaches others the value of what makes him unique. This is a story that teaches children to accept and celebrate our differences. Well, that's it for school news. There's something interesting happening in our classrooms and schools every day, and thanks to all the educators who share their news with us. Now let's send it over to Mike Maloof with the latest in fall sports.
Hello and welcome to the Sports Update. The fall season is nearing an end for most teams here on the Hill. With 1 week remaining, teams are fighting to earn their tournament bids. 6 members of the golf team traveled to Maplegate Country Club Tuesday morning for the Central Sectional Tournament. In a field that included 13 teams, Norwood finished 6th, coming in 48 over par, shooting a .336. They came in 3 strokes behind Tri-Valley rival Westwood and 1 stroke ahead of Old Bay State rival Walpole. Leading the way for the Mustangs was senior captain Aaron Sullivan with an 80 and junior Sean Dittmeyer with 81. Congrats on a great season. Field hockey honored their 8 senior players and 1 senior manager in their annual Senior Day celebrations before Wednesday's game against Ashland. The Lady Stangs got on the board early with a goal from senior captain Maddie Berry and kept the pressure on throughout the game. They poured in 4 more goals and kept the Clockers off the board, ending the game in a 5-0 win. Just the day before, the Mustangs took on a strong Hopkinton team and had a familiar outcome, winning that game also 5-0. Football was back home Saturday afternoon in a matchup against the Panthers of Holliston. The defense and offense were firing on all cylinders early for the Mustangs. By halftime, Norwood held a 28-0 lead. The second half was much of the same. Holliston was able to put one on the board late, but Norwood came away with a 42-7 victory. The Mustangs will be traveling to the undefeated Ashland Clockers in what will be the biggest Tri-Valley matchup this season on Friday night. Boys soccer also honored their seniors before their matchup against Ashland on Thursday. Norwood played tough through most of the game, but Ashland's speed and skill proved to be too much, eventually coming away with the 6-1 win. Earlier in the week, the boys traveled to Hopkinton to take on the Hillers. As has been the story for much of the year, the Tri-Valley opponents have been tough matchup for the Mustangs. Hopkinton took the 5-0 win. Girls soccer had 2 matches this week. Tuesday, they hosted Hopkinton at Father Max. The girls had one of their better performances of the season, and defense and goaltending really stepped up in the 1-0 win. Then they traveled to Ashland, where they took on the Clockers for the second time this season. Earlier in the year, they came to a 2-2 tie, and well, it was basically a repeat finish, with this game ending in a 0-0 tie. Volleyball split their 2 matches this week, starting with a 3-1 win on the road against Sharon, and then dropping a 3-0 loss against Ashland. Well, that's all for sports this week. Tune in next week as we will update you on the tournament hopes for some of the fall teams. But for now, stay up to date with scores and broadcast times by following us on social media. Kristen, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. In government, the Board of Selectmen held a special meeting Thursday afternoon to discuss the process of electing a new selectman following the unfortunate passing of Selectman Hajar.
Today, however, our sole purpose is to comply with Section 2 of our charter, which requires our calling of a special election to fill a vacancy on this board in the event that the vacancy occurs outside of 3 months from the regularly scheduled annual election.
I would make a motion that we follow the recommendation and hold the special election to fill the vacancy of Selectman David E. Hajar at January 3rd, 2022.
I can second it.
We have a motion made by Mr. Plasko, seconded by Mrs. Donahue. Mr. Lane, thank you for joining us remotely. Do you have anything you'd like to add to this?
No, I think Mr. Plasko summed it up pretty well. I would agree that avoiding any of the mess that the new census might put us in is a good idea. So I think the earlier the better.
Okay, very good. Are there any other comments on this then?
No.
All right, motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The vote is unanimous in favor of holding the special election on Monday, January 3rd.
The Selectmen will meet again Tuesday, the 26th. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government channel or watch on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for more town news.
The Ecumenical Community Food Pantry of Norwood is a local volunteer organization that serves families in Norwood and the surrounding towns. Founded in 1989, serving just 6 clients, the pantry has grown to now serving over 350 families. Located at 150 Chapel Street in Norwood, the entrance to the pantry is at the back of the Grace Episcopal Church. The pantry hours are from 9 a.m. to 11:40 a.m. on Saturday mornings. For more information about the Norwood Food Pantry or how to donate or volunteer, visit www.norwoodpantry.org.
Welcome back. Every October, vendors from all over New England set up shop in the NHS gym for the famous craft affair. There is always something for everyone: jewelry, wooden signs, decorations, bags, hats, blankets, and so much more. This large event is also a fundraiser for Norwood scholarships and athletic teams. Over 80 crafters sold their products at this year's annual fair. To join next year's fair, contact the Craft Affair Committee. Last Saturday, the Norwood Rec Department hosted its first ever Wings and Wheels event at the Norwood Airport. Residents had the opportunity to check out various aircraft along with town vehicles. Katie Seestead has more.
So today we have our annual Wings and Wheels event. It is the first annual. It's the first time we have done it. We've partnered with the wonderful airport here in Norwood. So right now we have tours going on the tarmac where we have a bunch of different helicopters as well as airplanes. And then we also have our truck. So we have a fire truck, a light truck. We also have a police car and some DPW trucks. So it's awesome for the kids to be able to go hang out on the trucks and play on the trucks, but then also get to see the airplanes. And we've been very fortunate today. The airport is very busy, so we've seen a lot of jets come in and heading out. We actually just saw a helicopter take off. So it's a great event.
Many families attended this fun event, and according to Seestead, the feedback was all positive.
So we've actually had about 300 families come in and out, and we are expecting about 200 more, and they're loving this event. And so I think it's just something new, so we're excited and we're learning from this first time we're doing it. So far the feedback has been great, but it will be interesting to see what others say throughout the day.
Follow the Rec Department on social media for all of their upcoming events. A few weeks ago, members of the Norwood Fire Department traveled to Connecticut for a live fire training. Chief Hayes and firefighter O'Malley recapped the day.
It's live fire training. We didn't actually put any fires out. It was more about getting the rooms hot and getting the people to learn how to get themselves and others out. We can't really do that around town. We just don't have the space, and it's inconvenient for neighbors. So we sent them down to Connecticut. They had a great day. Guys came back highly motivated, highly excited, and we're going to share some video with you in a few minutes.
The MACE training was engine company based, putting water on the fire. This most recent training was more focused on ladder company work, which is searching the fire, rescuing victims, forcing entry, things of that nature. We're very fortunate to be able to do so. A lot of the training for us is not in that kind of environment. We're able to do training in the building, if we're lucky enough to get a quiet structure to do training on in town. But for the most part, after the academy, it's very rare to get the opportunity to do some live fire training like that. So we're very fortunate to be able to go down there with the support of the department. In the fire service, it's more important now than ever to be able to do training like this. Across the nation right now, fires are down 3.2%. Although our call volume continues to increase, that's largely due to medical calls, hazardous materials, other emergencies of that nature. But the rate that people are dying in fires is up 25%. So it's important now more than ever, like I said, to get this live fire training in, to keep guys sharp, to hone their perishable skills, such as searching a building under heat conditions and things of that nature. So we're lucky enough to be able to do that, and hopefully we can continue to do that in the future.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.